Hotel President Wilson.
C'est pas loin, ça va.
Oui, il y a le pont.
So,
On peut lui mettre une escorte de moto.
my father was a union leader, and I feel pretty bad about the fact that there is so much unpaid labor being done. And I think it's a huge challenge, and it's an issue that I know is very strongly felt. That, particularly that it leads to consequences that you more or less have to have rich parents or take a loan in order to have an experience that will give you a job later on. I find it unfair, but I know it has such huge budget implications, it brings all kinds of issues up, and I haven't seen the process being finished. I have made my point of view personally, but I don't know whether there is any movement. Maybe we should offer Michael Muller a time to say something about this, because I know it's been, no, you don't want to say anything, but if you, I have something to say about it, but I certainly cannot promise you what Antonio Guterres would do. I cannot speak for him, but I know he's a man who wants this organization to be well run and to be based on fairness. But I can't really predict that. I cannot tie his hands with this, but I can certainly tell him what I think about it. On the peace in Colombia, we, of course, were quite disappointed that the referendum led to the no situation, the no vote. But we were also very much encouraged by the move by both the government and the FARC to continue the talks, and listening to the criticism of the first agreement. And I was extremely glad to see that there is now a new agreement, a new text, a revision on some of the points that were raised, not least by former President Uribe. And I hope very much that the opposition to the agreement in Colombia will receive this with more of a positive attitude than the first text. Then it's a question what the government of Colombia decides to do, whether they will go to the parliament with this, or whether they will have a new referendum. It's a completely internal process. I have no views on that. But I just hope that it will be reaffirmed in some form, so that President Santos can go to Oslo and pick up the prize, the Nobel Prize, with greater pride, and greater gratitude, and greater satisfaction in the work community. Now, on the last question, I will do something that I was not expecting to do. And I'm going to surprise the director again. You asked me what you can do for advice when you sit here with those aspirations and dreams that you have, and when you perhaps don't see obviously that there is a task for you waiting for you to deal with energy. I just remember when I was 26 years old, it's a little bit older than some of you, isn't it? 26 years old. This is really a test because I'm testing whether I remember a quote. So if this ends up with not remembering the quote, I will walk out the back door. But I read Bertrand Russell's autobiography. It's a huge book, it's 3 volumes, fascinating. He was a scientist, he was a mathematician, he was a writer, he was a peace activist, he had a tremendously rich life. He married 3 times, I know why I say that, number of children, and he wrote his memoir, believe it or not, at age 85 to 87, looking back at his life. And the book starts with a preface, 1 1/4 page in my version at home. And I read that preface, and the first paragraph struck me as lightning. He wrote, looking back at his life, the following. Here's the test of the memory. No water drink. 3 passions, simple but overwhelmingly strong, have governed my life. The longing for love, the search for knowledge, and an unbearable pity for the suffering of mankind. These passions, like great winds, have blown me hither and thither in a wayward course over an ocean of anguish sometimes driving me to the verge of despair, end of quote. So I remember the quote, but I say to you, yes to the longing for love. Yes to the search of knowledge. Yes to the unbearable pity for the suffering of mankind. But I say no to the anguish. I say yes to action. I say yes to hope. That quote I have carried with me my whole life. So go back, get Bertrand Russell's autobiography. Don't read the 3 volumes. Read the prologue, first paragraph, and see whether I was right in my quotes. Thank you very much.